Well, the never-ending saga of Pete Hegseth, the former Fox News weekend anchor who was in the military, and it turns out, before he came to Fox as a correspondent, he was the head of two alleged nonprofits, one Veterans for Freedom and Concerned Veterans of America. Veterans for Freedom had to be shut down because he mismanaged the funds and ran up a huge debt alleged by the New Yorker to have been for his personal expenses. So then he goes to Concerned Veterans of America, where not only did he use the money for the nonprofit for personal expenses. Do you want to take a wild guess at some of the expenses, or should I just tell you?
Drugs and hookers?
Close. Booze and strippers.
Yeah.
And sexual misconduct allegations out the gazoo. Got wasted, had to be carried out of many different functions. Here's the coup de grace. So wasted, he would take the employees to a strip bar. He would get on the table or whatever they dance on, the platform, the stage, whatever, dance with the strippers, and would have to be carried out because he was so shit-faced. And, as a shock to no one, mismanaged those funds. So this guy is just a real winner. And when I was reading all this, I thought, well, of course he is. He's Donald Trump's pick. Mismanaging funds, sexual, misconduct, all the things that they both are they just love.
I mean, basically, the whole MAGA movement is a parasitic movement. They're all parasites. And they use freedom, the military, make America great again. Donald Trump dry humps the American flag, and people go, oh, I just love him because he loves America. And all they're doing is just sucking all the resources out of the country, out of their supporters for their own personal enrichment. Every single person around Trump is exactly the way he is, because if you're not like him, you would be disgusted by him. And we had a lot of neocons around him the first go round. They were disgusted. They didn't endorse him. They spoke out against him. And these are people that I would never agree with politically, but they're not parasites. They're just sociopaths, I guess. But now you've got parasitic, addict sociopaths. And I think that, all of these people are around each other all the time because it makes them feel normal. If they were around healthy people, they would feel crazy, because they are crazy. Donald Trump Jr. doing blow at the rocket launch. Elon Musk, tweets 300 times over the middle of the night while he's doing ketamine. Trump, we all know, Adderall and whatever else. And I think during the campaign, it sounded like to me he was on benzodiazepines because he was slurring. And So, yeah, I mean, this is like, we are literally taking the worst people in this country who are grifters and parasites. This is a parasitic movement that is sucking the life out of everything. And they want to destroy the citizens, the institutions, the democracy. And, we can dance around it all we want to, but that's what this is. And we're going to have to sit here and watch it and talk about it every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. You're right. If you weren't a nut, you would not be around these people. No. These are not competent people, which brings me to Senator Tommy Tuberville from Alabama.
I mean, he's such a dick.
He's such a dick. So he is asked by a reporter after he meets with Hegseth, what do you think about all these allegations of sexual misconduct? He's like, oh, well, we talked about it and I'm not worried about it at all. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? There's nobody better to run the Department of Defense than somebody that had two nonprofits shut down because he can't manage them. He took the money. He was dancing on the tables with strippers. Oh, and I forgot to mention, he's screaming drunk one night, kill the Muslims. Kill the Muslims, which is no surprise given his white supremacy tattoos. Like, these bottom feeders, parasites, clown car of stupid, whatever you want to call them. I mean, Trump is putting them in extremely powerful positions, institutions that are supposed to protect national security, domestic security. And what are we doing? We're appointing the biggest dipshits that can't run a nonprofit.
But I think you're putting, the cart before the horse here. And Trump is all of the things that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So why would Tommy Tuberville be even remotely alarmed in the least about Pete Hegseth's behavior when Trump, who he vociferously campaigned for, dry humping American flags, playing the January 6th hostage bullshit song, they have already sold out everything. So anything that happens after Trump, any appointee after Trump, any Republican senators that we are hoping, fingers crossed, don't vote for these people during their what's it called? Confirmation hearings, series that don't confirm them. What? So now all of a sudden they find moral clarity? Like, what is the difference between Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump? In my mind, none. They're both breathtakingly disqualified, broken people, addicts of some sort, untreated, womanizers, grifters, parasites. Same with Kash Patel. They're all the exact same thing. Don Jr., Eric, that Lara Trump, she's releasing pop singles.
And she's not even a good singer.
People are buying them and listening to it. This is where we are. People are buying the Trump sneakers and wearing them and then reading the Trump Bible. And then they feel like they're great people because Trump loves America and the Bible, which is all bullshit. And I think where I'm at right now is if you want to be a nut for Trump, be a nut. Just own it. Say, I get it. We're kind of culty. And I'm all about the dictator thing. And I don't really give a shit about the institutions. I don't care if we have another election again. I love Trump so much. I'd be like, okay, but it's the people who kind of try to play both sides of it that piss me off the most. The people that are like, well, my husband and I really like his policies. It's the policy. I don't like his personality. His tweets are somewhat offensive, but his tax policies, those are A+. That's where I'm like, quit it. You've already shown us
who you are,
exactly who you are, and you're a massive hypocrite that wants to play both sides. You want to be accepted in some intellectual, educated circles, but right under that surface, you are a dark, horrible, dumb person. Pumps, today I would like to take a victory lap at how smart I am because the days are shorter, not as much sunlight. When I get finished with work, after I play tennis, I don't have the energy to go to the store because it's dark. But I've discovered Green Chef, and it is the #1 meal kit for clean eating, delivered pre-portioned and prepped quality whole foods right to my door.
You know what I like about Green Chef is that you save time meal planning, shopping, and prepping, and you save money.
Listener, every week you'll find menu options for every lifestyle, from Mediterranean meals to customizable plant-based options and certified gluten-free recipes. Green Chef makes it easy to support whole body health with wellness-focused solutions for every meal from breakfast to dessert. Find all sorts of curated items to aid digestion, provide inflammation support, and boost fiber like ready-to-blend smoothies. Alex A2 milk ice cream and kombucha are delicious. Listener, go to greenchef.com/IHIP50 and use code IHIP50 for 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next 2 months. That's code IHIP50 at greenchef.com/IHIP50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next 2 months. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
And without any morals or ethics or content of character, you cannot look at what he has done to the legal system, the J6 choir hostages. Like, if you love America, then you can't be for that.
And let's just talk about this real quick. A president for the United States did an insurrection.
Right.
And then he has a choir. I mean, think
Of
about
inmates.
Think about this. I mean, and we're sitting here talking about it, and everybody gets wound up about all of these other things. And at the end of the day, what MAGA has done has harvested all of the anger that working class Americans have built up decade after decade after decade of not seeing their wages increase at all. And the upper class has increased exponentially. Since Reagan started doing tax cuts for the rich, you have seen the wealth disparity grow. And you can mark it right from where Reagan started this all the way to Trump. And you see their wealth explode, explode, explode. Working class wages have leveled off. It's the exact same. They're mad. Well, which candidate is always mad, always has grievances, is a bullshit artist and a blowhard? Donald Trump. But he can harvest their anger, and then he misdirects it to trans people, drag queens, the leftist lunatic. Remember his Thanksgiving thing? Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, including the liberal lunatics. I mean, like this is the president of the United States. And then people are over here butthurt because Biden pardoned his son. I'm just like, you guys, seriously, like, start harvesting the anger that is out in the nation right now and directing it to the proper source, which is MAGA, which is this bullshit trickle-down economics that we were raised on.
Yes.
And Republicans are such great business people.
Right. So good for the economy.
Yeah. Fiscally, I'm really conservative. Socially, I'm really cool and liberal. I've got a gay hairdresser, but, I've got a black friend over here. But fiscally, I'm super, super conservative. Bullshit. You're a stingy, greedy motherfucker, and everybody knows it. And so just start directing the anger where it goes and calling out these parasites down there at Mar-a-Lago, which is nothing short of a goddamn flea market.
It's so awful.
It is a fucking flea market.
The worst
down
decor
there.
I've ever seen in my life.
Just so embarrassing.
It is. It's
the
embarrassing.
shit that they're selling and releasing singles and assembling a choir of inmates. I mean, this is so ridiculous. I saw this article before we came in here, and it said, with Biden's pardon of Hunter, he has just shown Trump the roadmap. And I'm like, what news have you been watching? How are you writing that? Because he's been talking about pardoning the quote unquote January 6 hostages for like 3 years.
He didn't even go through the pardon office like normal presidents when he was president last time. He just had Jared Kushner off getting pardoned. So don't tell me Trump needs a roadmap to be corrupt.
And this is what's bullshit about the mainstream media. They're trying to blame Trump's future corruption
on Biden,
on Joe Biden, when this guy's been corrupt back to the 80s. This guy's been corrupt. Right. He can't even do business in the state of New York. That's how corrupt he is. But it's such bullshit that the media just was like, oh, guess what? We get to hold somebody to a high standard now, and it's Joe Biden for pardoning his son. Like, have you seen Pete Hegseth?
Right.
He's basically doing lines off, the platform at the titty bar, and we're all up in arms. I mean, give me a break. These are the same people that lost their minds because Hunter was smoking crack with prostitutes. And so what did they say? That's a big problem. Morally, that's just horrible. Yes, let's appoint this person that has the exact same behavior to be in charge of the Department of Defense, which is like the biggest military with nukes and, millions of people employed. Are you kidding me?
And where's the outrage on that? I do not see the outrage on that.
It's just unbelievable. And even people on the left do this. They hold the Democratic Party up to this ridiculous standard. And you need to clue in. You need to clue in that we are past all of that right now. That you have to play fuck you politics. Period. Because if not, if you're just, we're going to show Trump the way to do this ethically, they laugh about it. I read an article over the weekend that everybody at Mar-a-Lago keeps chuckling about how hospitable Biden was when he came to the White House, welcome back, and how cooperative he is with the transition. They're laughing at him. They're laughing at him. And what is our media doing? Oh, Joe Biden is showing Trump the roadmap to criminality. Are you kidding me? The way everybody is approaching this thing, Biden is quacking like a duck. He's the lamest of lame ducks. Give me a break. Do not focus on him. Furthermore, he's 83 years old. Come on. People are like, in 4 years, people are going to remember this pardon. No, they're not. No, they're not, because we're about to enter 4 years of the biggest shit show ever. And for the record, 4 years later, after the insurrection, everybody forgot it. We live in ADD, USA, instant gratification culture. There's not going to be one voter, not one, that goes to the voting booth and says, well, I was going to vote for the Democrats, but in 2024, Joe Biden pardoned his son because the MAGA administration had sworn to prosecute him to the fullest degree and even open up future investigations. So I don't think I can vote Democrat. There's not going to be one person that does that.
You're right. They forgot about an insurrection trying to overthrow the government. So I don't think they give a shit.
And all these right-wing Christians forget about the fact that he's screwing hookers and porn stars while his wife's at home with Barron, who's a newborn. I mean, so give me a break.
The moral high horse is just too much.
I mean, it's just like the people that live on the coast that cover this, they get into this consulting punditry. This is the way it has to be. These are the norms that we have to follow. Meanwhile, they're missing the message that you have a very angry electorate, very angry. And MAGA learned how to harness that and learned how to profit off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're over here debating about showing the biggest con man criminal this country has ever seen ascend to the highest office. We're worried about showing him maybe a new way to do a new crime. Give me a break. What Biden did in the pardon, he can do it. And guess what? There was a senator who tried to do away with the presidential pardons, had a bill, talked to Republicans. Guess how many Republicans offered support of his bill to do away with presidential pardons?
I'm going to guess 0.
That's right. It's big goose egg.
Yeah.
Big, fat goose egg. Regardless of what Biden did or didn't do, Trump is going to do a lot of fuckery. Full stop.
Already has.
He's going to. And so we can either learn it this way. We can either learn it that, oh, Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have resigned. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Obama should have pushed his nominee through anyway. Well, no shit, Sherlock. Why are we always Monday morning quarterbacking? Because if Biden hadn't pardoned Hunter, and then in a year, all of these nuts, these parasite flea bags hanging around, now they're going to move from Mar-a-Lago to the White House, where I'll be like, you got to throw us this. We've got to take down the Biden. We've got to take down Hunter. Trump, he doesn't care.
He doesn't
so he'd be like, fine, do it. I don't care.
Right.
And then the Democrats, all of these same pundits would be, well, Biden really should have pardoned his son on the way out because, they were all threatening this and Biden knew that. So it's just like, I just get so sick of the bullshit, both from elected officials and from the media. I get so tired of the bullshit. I wish somebody on the news would say, of course he pardoned his son. It was all bullshit. Any other person that had that case would have gotten probation. It would have already been sent down the road. Give me a break. And instead, they're like, somehow Biden is inspiring Trump. Give me a break.
Nobody needs to inspire Trump to do crimes. He's been fluent at that for longer than we've been alive.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.